Hello and welcome back to Comic Vantage. And again, today is that special day of the week. It is New Comic Book Day. So this is the day where I go to my local comic book store, pick up my books, read them up, and come back and give you a spoiler-filled review. So, if you don't want spoilers, make sure you back out now. Come back later after you read them yourself. Also, I will have timestamps in the description so that way you can skip books you don't want spoilers on. Hey, something new. People seem to like it. So let's get started. First up this week from DC Comics, we have Red Hood and the Outlaws. This is annual number 2. This comes hot off the tail of issue number 25, where Batman beat the snot out of Jason Todd. Yay! So this actually picks up right where that left off, which is kind of interesting for an annual, because it continues on to the story. So we have Red Hood here. He was saved by Arsenal. Good old Roy. He rescued him from the Batman beating, the Bat beating, and brought him to recuperate. See, they actually show a little panel there. Now we have this whole little story, you know, the whole bromance going on, and how they're best friends until the end. And also, Roy has a thing going on in his own little storyline in the background here. And he's talking to Killer Croc, who is his sponsor. And he's talking about how he needs to get to a meeting, and he's falling off the wagon and all that kind of good stuff, because he's an alcoholic. So we have that going on at the same time. It's kind of cool seeing Killer Croc as a sponsor. He's really a great character. I really enjoy Killer Croc. And along with this, we have another storyline starting, where Roy has picked up information about, what is it, not really a drug cartel, but it's a large-scale drug group. It consists of mafias and cartels and gangs and all kinds of stuff, and they are called the Underlife. And they have their hands in everything, but he's traced a bad batch of opioids back to Beijing, China. So immediately he thinks, hey, it was Susie Sue doing it, but no, it's not her. She's going through liver failure and dying, so she's in the hospital. But while there, they are attacked by the Sisters of Sue, who are there just to protect their sister. But they get their little information that the bad batch of opioids actually came from an American who was in the Underlife. Sorry, that's what it's called, the Underlife. So they part ways, with Roy saying he has to get to a meeting and go through rehab again. And Jason Todd's like, you know, well, I'll pick up where you left off and we'll get this figured out. Really cool story. I really enjoy it. Scott Lobdell is an amazing writer. This book has lots of action, lots of feels. The end. Really good story. If you enjoy Red Hood, I would definitely recommend this one. Now, also that came out this week right away. So you have 25, issue number 25 first, last month. And then you should be reading annual number 2, followed immediately by issue number 26. And here we see Red Hood getting into his new costume, carrying the crowbar. And now he is in the U.S. and he's riding a bus. And they find a woman in the road. Turns out she is an FBI agent who was trying to arrest a gang or get some information from them, and her partner was killed right in front of her, and she was almost killed, but she got away. So then we have this biker gang rolling up, telling everyone to hand her over, and they'll leave him go. And of course, you know, Red Hood is like, I don't think so. And he gets out, and he gives them a proper thrashing. It's pretty cool. Great action sequences again. The art is a little different from Dexter Soy, so I got to get used to it. You know, I've been so spoiled with Dexter Soy's artwork for the first 23 issues of this book. Absolutely amazing artwork, but this actually isn't bad as well, and it's a really good story. And this just delves deeper and deeper into the Underlife, so it'll be interesting to see as well who is all a member of this. and how they are going to bring them down. They have sheriffs, they have gangs. I mean, it's like everybody's on the take right now with this. I love this last panel, just him taking off out the window. Now, the last issue, also Artemis and Bizarro ended up missing. They are just gone. Oh, that was actually in the back of the annual. We come to find out they are in some weird limbo world, or not really a limbo world, but possibly an alternate reality, but they are alive. Also in this issue, Jason Todd is trying to find them and can find no signs of them whatsoever on the planet. But they are around, so it'll be interesting to see. Look at this, the Hall of Punishment, and she's like, I hope we're in an alternate reality. So that's really cool. I cannot wait till they're reunited. I love those three together. I mean, these really are my trinity right here. I love these guys. Great characters. All right, so next up from Image, we have a #1 this week in Cemetary Beach. Had no idea what to expect from this book as I heard nothing about it, but it was Warren Ellis, so I really wanted to give it a shot. And again, we start off with a man, a naked man, being interrogated. But he's like, you know what, you don't need to torture me, I'll just tell you whatever I need, or whatever you want to know. And he goes through, and he just starts spilling. This gentleman's name is Michael Blackburn. And we come to find out that this is almost like a pocket reality that he is visiting, and he is from the home planet, or the home world, that apparently is Earth. And he starts telling this guy about cell phones, which is really crazy. This person's never seen cell phones before. And apparently these were colonies that were founded back in the 1920s. And he is here to recon. So after he escapes, he meets this woman here. Her name is Grace Moody. She is local to the area, so she's going to help him escape. And they go on the run. Like I said, a really neat twist. It's definitely an alternate, or not an alternate reality, but this different, I don't even know where this place is supposed to be. They're talking about inhabitable planets and all kinds of stuff. Everything is very similar, but all the technology is a little different. Like I said, they had no idea what a cell phone was. And then you get to this area where it's just no dialogue for, I don't know, 6 or 7 pages, and it's all just pure action of them escaping. Really, really neat. I loved this part. And once we get back, look at those weird little speeder bike things they're trying to get away from. I'm really interested to see where this goes. Here we go. Oh, they call it Old Home. The Old Home is coming for us. This is their president, President Barrow, on this weird colony place. Good story. I was rather surprised, so that was a lot of fun. This is a definite grab on my list. And next up from Image Comics, we have Crowded #2. Now, if you have not picked up Crowded #1, and if you can find it, I would suggest you grab it. This book has been optioned by Rebel Wilson, and I guess she's going to star in it and play the lead character and everything, so that's be kind of cool. Now, Crowded here is where almost everything in the world is crowdsourced. So we have our main character here. Her name is Charlie Ellison, and someone used the Reaper app to crowdsource an assassination on her, and they've amassed millions of dollars towards her murder. But it's completely legitimate because, it's crowdsourced. So she hires Vita here, who is a bodyguard on another crowdsourced app called Defend, to protect her. So Vita here wants to protect her. Charlie wants to find out who did this. So she pulls up lists of people and she wants to hunt them down and pretty much make them pay. She doesn't seem like a nice person. The artwork is a little cartoony, but it's a lot of fun. It really matches the storyline. The story is very campy. It's really kind of over the top, but very, very, very well done. I'm really excited to see where this one goes. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Here's Charlie visiting a nightclub. She actually tricks Vita into going to this night. Hey, let's just go out for a night. Just so that way she can confront one of her so-called friends who donated to her assassination. It's a really, really interesting story. I'm having a lot of fun with this one as well. It's very cool. I would say grab it. Like I said, if you haven't yet, it's only 2 issues in. This issue number 2. If you can find issue 1, I mean, as soon as it was announced that the book was optioned, it was gone off the shelves. But if you can find it, I would definitely say hunt it down. And then next up from Dark Horse / Burger Books, we have The Seeds. This first issue, when I picked it up, had no idea what to expect from it. Ended up loving it. It's such a crazy read. And this one was no different. So we start off right away with our 2 weird, I mean, the art, look at the artwork. Wow, and it's all this weird gray and black and white. It's so striking. I love this artwork. So we start off with our 2 characters here. This is Race, and from the last book we learned Race is an alien. And this is his love, and her name is, well, what is her name? Lola. Yes, and Lola's in a wheelchair. So, in the last issue, Race asked Lola to come live with him over where the Luddites were at. Now, the Luddites are in a territory that has no technology, and there's no technology let in there. No cell phones, no TVs, no nothing. So, this is kind of interesting. We also learned that the group of aliens, as we can see them here, that are hanging out on the Earth are collecting specimens and seeds from the planet. Really, it's like, what? It's like, what is going on here? And then we flash forward to our little journalist here named Astra. She is a reporter. She spotted Lola and Race in his alien form at the end of the last issue. So now she's going to go find them. She knows they're over in this weird no man's land. So she pays off the guards to sneak in her camera and stuff, and she goes in. This is where they're at. And she is just clicking away, taking her little pictures. And then next up, we come to this weird farmer. And this is Jack and Susan, okay? They're old farmers. And I don't even know how this story comes into play right now in this book. He's just telling the story of him going to kill a pig. and eating the sausage. He's like, it's sausage time. You know, he goes and he kills the pig and he makes sausage. In between this, we have Astra still taking her pictures. And she was found out by one of the aliens, who then hits her with the butt of his gun and drags her away. All right, and then we're back to Race and Lola. And he's asking her how this happened in the world. You know, what exactly happened. And she's not even really sure. She gives this whole... that the Earth was like splitting in half. There was earthquakes. The Earth was cracking up. It was a disaster. And then there was a cathedral that was swallowed by a sinkhole. And she said, and that was it. And he does say, it's too late for you. And she's like, that's a cold thing to say. And he's like, well, it's his nature to be cold. And when they are sent in, that means the planet is dead. And I guess this isn't the first time they've done this, where they've gone and they've collected specimens on a planet to preserve it once the death of the planet was coming about. Next scene, we have Astra waking up, strapped to a table. And she's going to be dissected, and they want to see her brain and all kinds of stuff. But this other female type alien actually saves her and sets her free. So that was kind of interesting as well. So you're trying to figure out what's going on there. Next up, we have the government loading up planes with what appears to be biological poison and spreading it over the area where the Luddites are at. Really crazy story. Oh, this is so much fun. I have no idea how many issues this is going to be. I thought I read somewhere that it was 5 issues, but I don't know. It could be less, it could be more, but I am going to keep reading it because, wow, that was interesting. Just a crazy fun read. All right, and then next up from Marvel Comics, X-23 number 4. When last we left our heroes, Gabby was abducted by the Cuckoos, and Laura was trying to find her. And they have a brain swap thing going on, where 2 of the sisters were recloned, but their bodies are failing, and they're trying to put their minds into Gabby. At least there's one left now, because one of them died. Esme is left, and they're trying to put her mind into Gabby to take over her body. Brain transference. It's science. And it works. Esme is now in Gabby's brain. And Gabby is all evil now and raw. Actually do a really good job of making her look evil. I love that panel right there. But little do we realize that Sophie, the other sister, is in Laura's mind. And she wants to help stop her sisters. So they are going after Cerebro, because they want to be unstoppable after Cerebro, and Sophie is going to help Laura. And I guess it looks like Mindy might offer to help as well. I'm not sure. Really good read so far. I'm having a lot of fun with this storyline. Very, very interesting. I don't know what's going to happen to the Cuckoos after this. You know, they've been working with the X-Men tentatively sometimes, so, you know, this might be the end for them. Who knows? Be interesting to see. All right, and then also for Marvel Comics, we have Darth Vader number 21. At the end of the last issue, the Emperor was sending Darth Vader to do something evil, and Vader's like, no! And he's like, no, what do you mean? The Emperor's like, ah! And Vader was like, I want my own planet. And he wants Mustafar, the planet where he essentially became Vader. So, we have the Emperor giving him a gift, and that is the Naboo Royal Vessel. Rather interesting there. And he sends one of the best Imperial architects along with Vader to go to Mustafar to build his fortress. Now Vader tells the Emperor that while he was there, he sensed a very, very, very strong presence from the Force. So he wants to go there to meditate and study and to expand his powers. And it's funny, while he's landing, he turns off the shields and everybody freaks out. He does this to the ship. He did it on purpose. He burnt the ship up. And you know, that's very poignant right there. It's almost like, you know, there's a planet where he was burnt too, and this is his entire life burning at the same time. So when he reaches the planet, he finds this cave that is strong with the Force. And he goes in and he begins to meditate, and weird things begin to happen. So one of the things that they mention along the way, especially the architect, is she mentions this helmet that Vader has with him, and she has no idea who it is. And later on, the Emperor sends this along with him as a gift, and it was from a Sith named Lord Mammon. And he tells Vader the entire story of Lord Mammon. And Vader's like, how do you know all this if it was never written? And the Emperor said, well, the helmet told me. And then also, the preceding page, we have one of the officers wearing the helmet, and the eyes are glowing red, almost as if it was possessed by Lord Mammon. And the Emperor also explains that he, though most Sith like to conquer by destruction, he loved to create. And while he was sitting there at the computer, he created the fortress for Vader. Really, really cool story. I like that little twist. I've loved every single issue of Darth Vader. It's an unbelievably amazing, good read. Everyone should pick this book up. I don't care if you're a Star Wars fan or not. It will keep you interested. And man, it has a lot of insight, has a lot of depth. It's a really, really good, multi-layered story. It shows you sometimes the inner turmoil between Vader, of his light and dark side, and how the dark side eventually takes over. And oh, it's just really good. All right. And last up, Scooby Apocalypse number 29. I know I've been talking up this book like crazy, but oh, it's a good book. All right. So this book brings us right to the end of the death of Fred. We all know several issues back, Fred died. I think it was like issue 25, so it was like 4 or 5 months ago. Fred passed away, but apparently not for long, because he stands up and he goes walking off. and he feasts upon the demons, or these monsters that have been created. And you have these other monsters that seem to be afraid of him and run from him. And it's like, what? I love that panel right there. It's like, what has Fred become? We have no idea. He is spotted by some survivors who promptly report it to Velma and Shaggy that Fred is out there, not quite alive. He is not himself. So they decide not to tell Daphne because, wow, this girl is over the top right now. She is out in the world with this huge monster death wish, just killing every single beast she can. And she has teamed up with Scrappy Doo, who is this now genetically enhanced monster killing demon dog thing. Well, Scrappy's pretty cool. So they're going to go try to find Fred on their own without telling her. So, cut back to Fred. He's like hanging out, and he starts chomping on more monsters. That one we saw earlier comes out. And it's almost like Fred is an alpha, and he was waiting for him to finish eating before he ate him as well. And it's almost as if, he commands them, and he's like, hey, come along, little fella. It's time to get this party started. No idea what that means, but I cannot wait to find out. Night of the Living Fred, next issue. Great story right there. All right, people. So these are my books for the week, and these are my opinions. Your mileage may vary. So I gotta say, it was really hard to decide on my book of the week as far as storyline goes. They were all just, a lot of them were really just so good. Wow, even now, it's just staring at them, I'm really hard pressed. Well, first, let me say my cover of the week is Cemetary Beach. I absolutely love this black and white simplistic artwork, and there's so many things going on in here. Just one single splash of color, and they show some of the covers coming up, and wow, these are all going to be really good. I'm looking forward to that one right there. The last three are confidential. Anyway, that's my cover of the week right there. As for my story of the week, it's probably the Red Hood and the Outlaws annual. This had a lot of stuff going for it. It had action. It had, the sadness of Jason Todd and how he's pretty much lost his family right now with Artemis and Bizarro gone, but his kinship with Arsenal as well, which was really cool. And of course, you have the whole Arsenal story with his alcoholism and having to go to rehab. Really, really good. So anyway, that's it for this week. If you're already subscribed, thank you for watching. You guys are awesome. Love you all. And make sure you hit thumbs up and you leave me a comment down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite books were this week. And if you haven't gotten any of these, I just want to know what everybody's reading. It's really a lot of fun. And if you're new to the channel, hit the little CV right there and hit that bell. Lets you know when I got all the new stuff coming out. Like always, guys, thank you for watching and take it easy.